You ever have those mornings where the shop feels like it's actually glad to see you? Everything's in its place. The air smells like cedar and ozone, and you haven't managed to drop a heavy socket into a dark corner yet?
Give it 20 minutes, Tiger. You'll be fishing a hex key out of the sawdust with a magnet on a stick like it's a carnival game.
Don't put that hex on me yet. I'm feeling optimistic. Welcome to the TigerDen, folks. We've got a massive plate of tech and trade talk today. We're talking pipes that practically weld themselves, how to escape the gravity of Etsy, and why your bathroom's water heater might be your golden ticket to a business empire.
It's a bit of a future is now episode. I saw the notes on the new Trump releases. It feels like we're getting dangerously close to Star Trek levels of fabrication.
It really is. I spent half my life fighting with nozzle pressure on laser cutters. It used to be like trying to perform surgery with a fire hose. But this new X-Blast 2.0 system, it's like the machine finally went to finishing school. It smooths out the airflow so the laser doesn't get turbulence, for lack of a better word. When it's hitting those weird, pre-shaped car parts, it's the difference between a clean surgical cut and a jagged tear.
And the SteelMax pipe system, too? You were looking at those specs like most guys look at classic cars.
Look, if you've ever had to rotate a 30-pound steel pipe by hand while trying to keep a steady bead, you end up looking like a pretzel by the end of the shift. This SteelMax rig is a full-on ecosystem. It manipulates the pipe, oscillates the torch. It's basically a robot that shares your brain. It takes that shaky Monday morning thumb out of the equation.
Speak for yourself. Some of us actually have steady hands. But okay, so if the robots are doing the welding, what are the humans doing?
They're doing what Jesse Carrera did. They're being smart. Jesse's a guy who realized early on that you don't have to be a jack of all trades to start. He dominated one specific high-stress niche, water heaters.
Why water heaters, though? It's not exactly the glamour side of the trades.
Because when your water heater dies on a Tuesday morning, you aren't shopping around for a month. You need it now. Jesse built an SOP, a standard operating procedure, that was so tight it looked like a NASCAR pit crew. He knew every wrench turn, every fitting, every permit. By the time the customer finished their coffee, he was loading the old unit onto the truck. That kind of speed and consistency is how you move from guy with a van to company with a fleet.
I love that. It's the boring work that actually builds the bank account. He used that specialty as a ladder to move into general contracting. It's a blueprint for anyone listening who's tired of working for a boss who doesn't know a wrench from a whisk.
Precisely. You master the fix, then you master the business of the fix. If you can't tell me your profit margin on a 50-gallon tank, you're just a hobbyist with a heavy toolbox.
Speaking of hobbyists, we need to talk about the Etsy ceiling. A lot of our listeners are making incredible stuff, but they feel like they're trapped in a marketplace that treats them like a commodity.
Etsy is a great first date. It's easy, it's low pressure, and it introduces you to people. But you don't want to live in your parents' basement forever. If you're still there in 2026, you're leaving your brand's soul on the table.
Leaving your brand's soul on the table. You're getting poetic. But seriously, if someone is ready to jump, where are they going? You mentioned Shopify and Big Cartel earlier.
Shopify is the heavy lifting. It's for when you're ready to own the data and the look. But before you spend a single cent on a website or a Facebook ad, you have to find your, and I hate this term, but it's real, your unique selling proposition.
USP. Sounds like a shipping company.
It does, but look at it this way. I once knew a guy who made cutting boards. Everyone makes cutting boards. But his boards used a specific shadow gap construction that made them look like they were floating an inch off the counter. That was his hook. People didn't buy a cutting board. They bought a piece of architectural joinery for their kitchen.
So find the thing that makes your work stand out, build the brand around that, and then move to a platform where you keep the keys to the kingdom.
Exactly. Don't just be an Etsy seller. Be the person people seek out because nobody else handles a dovetail like you do.
Let's talk about that architectural grade stuff. You were showing me that video tour of the house with the hidden tenants. It looked expensive.
It looked like magic. But here's the secret. It's just patience with a different name.
Okay, explain that to someone like me who usually loses patience around the third coat of paint.
Most folks stop at 220 grit and slap on some polyurethane. It's fine. It'll last. But if you want that finish that makes people want to reach out and touch the wood, you've got to go the distance. We're talking a sanding schedule that climbs all the way to 400, followed by a hard wax oil. You don't just brush it on, you buff it into the fibers until the wood basically glows from the inside out.
And the shadow gaps you mentioned? I saw that in the weekend challenge. It sounds like something I'd accidentally do by making a mistake and then pretending it was intentional.
Hey, that's how 90% of architectural features were invented. But a shadow gap is just a deliberate dark line between two surfaces, like leaving a quarter-inch gap between a cabinet and a wall. It hides the fact that walls are never straight, and it makes the piece look like it was designed by a high-end firm instead of just put there.
So the challenge this weekend is to stop trying to make everything perfectly flush and instead lean into the gaps?
Lean into a controlled gap, use a hidden fastener, make the viewer wonder, how is that thing actually staying up? It's moving from DIY level to commission level.
I think I can handle that, as long as I don't have to weld a pipe while doing it.
Give it time. We'll get you on the SteelMax rig yet.
We'll see. Before we wrap up, Tiger, what's the one thing you want people to take into the shop this week?
Don't be afraid of the transition periods. Whether you're moving from a manual welder to a programmed one, or from a side hustle to a real business, the growing pains are where the actual learning happens. I've ruined more wood and wasted more solder than most people have even bought. Those mistakes weren't failures. They were just the price of admission to knowing what I'm doing today.
Well said. Just maybe try to keep the admission price a little lower this week, for the sake of your bank account.
Use a sharp blade, keep your fingers clear, and keep making things. We'll be right here in the den when you're done.